Find your comfortable seat, feet on the floor. Scooch to the back of your chair so you feel your haunches up against it. If you're in a deep seat, you could always put a pillow behind you so that the back of your legs are not pushed up against you're not dangling your legs out. So you have that little support right up against your haunches. Excuse me. And then I want you to alternate between pelvic tilts. So keeping your shoulders in place, I want you to arch your back and tilt forward onto your pubic bone, and then round your back and tilt back onto your tailbone. So just alternating between tilting, belly pushed forward, belly drawn back. Use your belly muscles to actually push forward as you tilt forward, and then pull your belly in and feel your upper sit bones kind of push towards, or not upper sit bones, upper hip bones, wrong bones. Push toward the back of your chair. Not really moving the upper back at all, keeping the shoulders stacked over the hips. As you draw your belly in, kind of squeeze your butt a little bit, help push it back. Just like we do when we're lying down and we push our back into the floor. And I want you to push your belly forward and hold. And I want you to see what muscles you're using. Are you using your belly, or are you feeling constriction in your back? Try and relax your back right over your sit bones, your low back area. And push through your belly, like from your pubic bone all the way through there. Push as if you're trying to push your belly out. Like you're trying to push a table away, or push against a table. But try and relax through your back. Even if you need to feel around on your back and try and get those muscles to relax. Pushing out the belly. And then as if you had a zipper in your belly from your pubic bone, I want you to zip your belly up, pressing it to the back. Shoulders are relaxed. And then I want you to relax and sit up tall. Kind of rock a little bit side to side. Rock to the right side and hold for a moment. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Rock back side to side a little bit. And go over to the left side. Just weight on the left sit bone. Lightly lift it on the right. Lengthen through the crown. And just teeter back and forth, side to side, slowing it down until you've centered yourself over both sit bones. You feel centered front to back. Focus in on your breath for a moment. The rise and fall of your breath. The rise and fall of the chest and the shoulders. Start to increase the length of your breath, taking in more air. And as you inhale, feel the widening of your lower body, your girth. pulling more air around all directions. Feeling the breath into your lower back, below your ribs. Feel the breath in your belly. Feel the breath expand on either side. And as you exhale, imagine lengthening through the crown as you're pushing the air up and out. Widen at the base on an inhale. Exhale, lengthen air up and out. Return your breath to normal rate, relaxed rate. Let go of the control. Let's flip our hands over on our lap so that the palms are up. Starting from your pubic bone, I want you to zip your abs in and start to press your low back against the chair. Keep zipping your abs up to your breastbone and start to round your back, dropping your head. Keep zipping up into your chin. So everything is pulling towards the back of your body. Imagine as if it's pulling in tight in the front and it's opening in the back. Let your head hang. Relax your legs. Breathe into your back body. And then start to unzip through your chin, lifting your chin up. Zipping down the front of your chest, your shoulders open to neutral. Zipping down your belly, you start to lengthen up. As you continue to zip open, shoulders come back together in the back, chin lifts. Imagine unzipping the front of your body and everything spilling out, opening it up. Chin is lifted, back is arched, shoulder blades are tucked together. And we're going to zip back up, starting with your pubic bone. Pull your low belly in. Start to press your low back. Feel your upper body start to round forward. Back presses against the chair. Zip up through your chest so your shoulders roll forward. Dropping your head as you zip through your chin. Rounding that back from tailbone to the top of your head. Take another breath. And start to unzip from your chin. Starts to lift. Goes down your throat as your head comes up. Down your chest, your shoulders open up to neutral. Down your belly starts to spill forward. Shoulder blades start to come together in the back, chin lifts. And hold for 2 breaths. Then slowly start to stack your vertebrae, starting with the low back on top. Bringing yourself back to neutral. Lengthening through the crown of your head, shoulders relaxed. Let your right arm slide off your lap. lift your right fingertips as if you're going to put the palm of your hand on a surface, a coffee table or something right next to you. Press your shoulder down so you're pushing into the palm of the right hand. And drop the left ear, left side. Drop your fingertips towards the floor. Start to lift your arm, but lead with your wrist. So it's coming up with your wrist, your fingertips are relaxed. Imagine painting the wall with your wrist. Just go up as far as you feel comfortable, and then flip your hands, so the fingertips are up, and paint the wall back down with your wrist. Go nice and slow. Feel the stretch through your arm, back, neck, shoulder, all the way down till it's next to your body. Then relax your fingers, relax your whole arm, shake it out. Tuck your chin and roll your head to the center. Return your right hand to your lap. Lift your head back up. Take a breath for a moment. Realign if you need to realign. Lengthen through crown if you need to. Slide the left hand off your lap. Lift your fingertips so the palm faces the floor. Then push down through your shoulders if you're going to put weight on your palm. And drop your right ear to the right side. Drop fingertips to the floor. Start lifting the arm, painting with your wrist so fingers are down. Then flip your hands so fingers are up. You're going to paint down, leading with your wrist. Go nice and slow. Keep a nice even breath. All the way down next to your hip. Relax your fingers, relax your arms, shake it out a little bit. Tuck your chin and roll your head back to center. Return your hand to your lap, both hands palm down. Tuck your chin in tighter, squeezing through your voice box. Create that double, triple chin. Open the neck a little more. Tucking in nice and tight, start to roll up. Keeping that double chin as you roll up. When you get to neutral, start lifting your chin towards the ceiling. And then lift your chin, creating like a, I guess it's an underbite when your lower teeth come over your upper teeth. Even if that's not possible, you're jutting that chin up. And then I want you to keep jutting it up and forward as you lower, reaching it out. Reach, 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 reach out as far as you can, scooping it like a backhoe. Reaching all the way out and down as you roll into your chest. Squeeze into your voice box and start to roll up. Keep squeezing in as you roll up. When you come to neutral, start lifting your chin towards ceiling. Jut chin up and forward as you reach and scoop out and down. Maybe instead of a backhoe, you can think about scooping out ice cream. Draw your chin in, roll it up. And when you get to neutral, I want you to relax and just turn your head right and left, nice and slow, as far as you feel comfortable. Check your spinal alignment, check your shoulders over hips. Release any tension from your neck. We're going to do it again going the other direction. Instead of scooping, we're going to be shoveling forward. Coming back to center. I want you to draw the chin in, taking your whole head back in space. And you're going to start to lower and squeeze in through your voice box. When you get down as far as you can go, drop your chin forward towards your chest and start scooping like you're shoveling snow. Scoop it forward and up, all the way to the ceiling. Start to lower down, take your chin, draw it in. Squeezing into your voice box as you go down. It's in as far as it will go. Jut forward and scoop out and up. All the way to the ceiling. Draw chin in, head back, come back to neutral. And relax, facing forward. Turn your head to the right as far as you can. And I want you to take your left hand and put your fingertips on your shoulder. Lift your left elbow forward. So it's pointing at me or pointing forward. And then I want you to open your left elbow to the side. As far as you feel comfortable. And drop your chin down towards your right shoulder. And bring your nose up to the ceiling. Bring it back to neutral. Draw both your head and your elbow back to face forward together, nice and slow. Try and go the same speed slowly. To center, relax your arm down, hand in lap. Take a breath, realign your spine if you got off kilter. Turn your head first to the left as far as you can. Bring your right fingertips to the shoulder. Lift the right elbow forward, pointing forward over your knee. And then start opening it to the outside. Going as far as you feel comfortable. Drop your chin down towards your left shoulder. Lift your nose up towards the ceiling. Bring your head back down to neutral. And slowly start moving head and elbow back forward. And then relax your arm. Roll your shoulders around. Roll them or just move them back and forth, up and down, whatever feels good. Maybe you want to do a little twist, maybe you don't. All right. We're going to get up and do some balance and a little flow. So we're going to get up and we're going to put the chair to one end with the seat facing you. make sure you can see me. That's what accidentally happened. All right, I'm gonna stand back here a little bit. So you're gonna stand a few inches from your chair. I need some more, about 4 to 6 inches from your chair. So that when you hinge at your hips and you lean forward, your hands are about in the center. So that you got nice support. You're not too far forward, you're not too far back. So however far away you need to stand to make this position happen comfortably. So your knees are soft. Don't lock them out. Now I want you to take a nice deep breath and lengthen the crown and the tail in opposite directions. You can draw the shoulders down, your shoulder blades down your back, draw your belly in, lengthening without straightening your knees. Imagine that you're holding a large tray from the shoulders to the hip bones. One of those big trays of where they can fit like 4 meals on it, all across your back. Take one more deep breath. And as you exhale, bend your knees a little more, start to sink your shoulders down. You can either put your shoulders on the chair or your forehead, or you can hang. Take a breath. On the next inhale, bring yourself back up. Shoulder blades go down the back, belly draws in to support the spine and flatten it out. Lengthen from crown to tail. Hold the tray. Another breath. On your next exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees, start to lower the upper body down, keeping the back flat. Imagine that that tray just slides off the top of your head. Hold for a breath. Next inhale, straighten your back, blades come down your back, belly draws in, lengthen from crown to tail. And I want you to take the weight off of your right foot and transfer it to your left foot. Now you're not going to lift your right foot yet, but you're just taking the weight off, and see how the weight distribution transfers into your hips. Try not to jut your left hip way out when you take the weight onto the left foot. Try and keep that hip right over that ankle. Try not to put too much pressure on your hands. Return your right foot to the floor and lift the weight off of your left foot this time. Try and keep your right hip over the right ankle, not jutting out too far to the side. And draw the abs in to help keep your weight centered over that foot. Left foot on the floor, weight evenly distributed. I want you to think about putting your weight on your left foot again. But before you do, engage the muscle that's going to make that happen. Like for instance, if you engage the front of your thighs, before you even lift the weight off of your right foot, as you start to think about it, what muscles start to engage through that left leg? Do you feel more dominant in the front of your thigh, the outside, the inside, or the back? Do you feel it in your hip? You should feel some in your low belly. So before you even lift it, just like a kind of a pre-lift, like maybe practice. I'm gonna lift, put weight on both legs. Go ahead and lift the right leg up off the mat, just an inch. Now your hip may go up in space, and that's fine, but try not to go out to the left side. Put the weight back on the right foot, shake out your legs. Now think about putting the weight on the right leg solely, and what muscles engage when you go to do that. Maybe practice a couple of times without actually lifting the left leg. Engage through the right glute, engage through the right quad, the right hip, low right ab, and then lift the left leg off the floor. And relax, put weight back over both legs. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna put the weight on the left leg. You're gonna first lift weight off of the right leg, but not leave the floor. And then you're gonna slowly start to slide the right foot back. So just your toes are touching. Make sure that your hips are not rotating. Keep that tray across your low back. And then lift your toes off the floor. It doesn't have to be very high. The key here is to not let your hips rotate. Keep your hips flat. Don't lean out to the left side. Put your right toes back on, and you can slide that leg in, bending your knee. Bring it back underneath the hip. Weight over both feet. Shake them out if you want to. Make sure your feet are under your hips, and we're going to switch to the other side. So transfer weight to right foot first. Engaging through the right glute, the right inner thigh, the right low ab. Lift the weight off of the left. Foot can still touch to help with balance. Slide the foot back. Stay on your toe if you want to. Try not to lift that hip though. Keep that hip level. And then lift the toe off the floor. Engage through the abs. Breathe. Toe on the floor, slide the foot in. Right underneath your hip. Weight even over both feet. Shake out your legs. Put your left hand in the center of your chair. Put your right hand behind your ear, behind your head, like you would do when you do sit-ups. You put it back behind your ears, and you're just gonna rotate and open to the right without moving your hips. Now you're not gonna go very far, and that's the point. Keep your hips level. Open your chest, open your side body. Come back down. Switch hands, right hand in the center, left fingertips behind your ear. Keep your hips level as you open the left side. Breathe, draw the belly in, come down, hands on either side. Push the hips back in space, bend your knees a little more if you want to. Drop your head and shoulders. Really reach your glute muscles, your butt muscles back as far as you can. Feel the stretch all the way down the back of your leg. You can hold the stretch, or you can rock your hips side to side a little bit, switch from one side to the other. Check your feet, make sure they're hip width apart. They're both same distance from the chair. You could easily lift your toes if you wanted to, wiggle them around. And then draw your weight forward, and you can either put your elbows on the chair, your forehead, or you can let your upper body hang. Bend into your knees if you need to, supporting your low belly on your thighs. And I want you to inhale and flatten your back. Draw shoulders down your back and come all the way up with a flat back. Head on top, shake out your legs. Good job. We're gonna go to the floor, lay on our back, and roll around a moment. Draw your knees up, or you can flop your knees side to side, whichever you'd want to do. Both feet on the floor, hip width apart. I want you to straighten out your right leg. Toes face the ceiling, pointing straight up. So your leg is activated slightly. You're not locking out your knee. You're just holding the toes up. So you're forcing a little bit of an internal rotation. Because if you relaxed, your leg would rotate outwards. So you're engaging it just enough to get the toes to face the ceiling. Lengthen through your crown and through the sole of your foot. You may feel some stretch in the front of your hip on that right leg, your hip or your thigh, maybe inner thigh. We're going to do a couple of breaths, taking a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, I want you to lift the whole leg off the floor, maybe an inch or an inch and a half as you exhale. So feel that psoas muscle, that hip flexor muscle, is assisted by the exhale of the breath. Big breath. Exhale and lift without locking your knee. Big breath. Exhale and lift without locking your knee. So you kind of hold that belly muscles as you exhale. One more. Big breath. Exhale and lift and relax. Release the leg, let the toes fall out to the outside. Shake it out. Slide the heel, drawing the knees up, and lengthen out the left leg. Engage the leg just enough to keep the toes facing the ceiling. Don't walk out your knee. Feel that little bit of a stretch. Nice big breath. Exhale and lift the whole leg off the floor, just half an inch to an inch. Doesn't have to be very high. You're just engaging, lifting enough to engage that psoas hip flexor. Big breath. Lift on the exhale. Hold for just a beat and then put it right back down. Big breath. Exhale, lift and hold. And relax. Slide the heel up, lifting the knee. Feet are hip width apart. Now I want you to fold your knees to where they're together. They touch, and walk your feet to the outside. As far apart as you feel comfortable. So it doesn't feel like you're having to control your knees being together. They're just naturally falling together. Your feet can be toes out. Toes can be pointed in, pigeon toe-like. They can be straight, facing towards the end of your mat. Whatever is the most comfortable position for you, for your feet. The idea is to not have any muscles engaged to hold the legs up there. The feet are kind of holding the knees together. And I want you to imagine right in the middle of your belly button is a marble. And your belly for this moment is perfectly flat, of course. And as you tuck your tail up in space, lifting your tailbone up and pushing your back into the floor, imagine that marble rolling up to underneath your breastbone as you're lifting your butt slightly. And as you relax, go back to neutral, the marble goes back into your belly button. Now, if you can imagine trying to get the belly button or the marble to roll down to your pubic bone, you would arc your back off the mat a little bit and imagine the marble rolling down to the pubic bone. And if you relax back to neutral, the marble comes back to the belly button. Now, if you wanted your marble to move from your right hip bone to left hip bone. So if you want the marble to roll from belly button to left hip bone, you would engage your right glute and kind of lift it up, rotating and feeling the marble go towards the left hip is lower. Right hip is kind of raised. And then relax, roll it back to center. Now the marble to the right hip bone, you would engage the left a little bit and kind of lifting on the left side to get the marble to roll over to the right. And then come back to center. Everything's level, knees are relaxed together. So I want you to practice going from pubic bone to breastbone. Curling your tail up moves it towards the breastbone. Arcing your back moves it towards the pubic bone. So imagine taking that marble back and forth. We did this exact same kind of thing when we were seated. Of course, you can't use the marble analogy when you're seated. Move the marble up and down your belly. Then bring it back to neutral. And now practice moving the marble from right hip bone to left hip bone by engaging on the right side, lifting, keeping the left side relaxed. Switching sides, you engage on the left side and lift a little bit, relax the right side. Now the knees may come apart while you're doing this. They're not really the focus of this. Let them move naturally, however they need to move to make the side to side happen. Feel the movement of the marble from side to side. And relax. Now I want you to arc your back and move the marble down to your pubic bone. Now we're going to take the marble and over to the right hip bone by lifting and engaging on the left side. Marble goes to right hip bone. Now the marble is going to roll on the outside edge up to the breastbone. We're going to engage both glutes, lifting our tailbone off the mat. Now the marble is going to come over to the left side. We're going to relax the left glute, keep the right one engaged, let the hip drop on the left side. And we're going to take the marble from the left hip back down to the pubic bone. You're going to start to arch your back, relax both glutes, let the marble drop to pubic bone. Relax and let the marble come back to your belly button. Bringing the marble to your breastbone, engage your glutes, lifting your tailbone off the floor slightly. Marble's going to go to right hip. So you're going to relax the right hip, keep the left one engaged, feel the right one dip down. Marble's on the right side. Marble's going to come to the pubic bone. So start to arch your back, relax both glutes, belly is lifted, back's lifted off the mat. Marble's going to come to left hip, engage the right side. Feel it lift off the floor. And marble back to breastbone. Engage both glutes, pressing back into floor, tailbone lifts, and relax. Marble comes back to the center of your belly button. You may wonder what the whole point of that business was, but your psoas muscles are deep down inside of your, the lowest layer of muscle in your abdomen, all the way up against your back. So the psoas muscles are against the inside of your spine. They're up against there and they come through your pelvic bowl into the front of your femur. And after your leg lifts up past 90 degrees, they start to be the primary mover and engager. And the easiest way to stretch and release those muscles is on your back relaxed fashion. Because you can do a million leg lifts and all it is going to wear it out. But this little exercise goes between relaxing and stretching the individual left and right psoas muscles. But sometimes you have one that is more dominant than the other, depending on how you sit normally, how you walk, what kind of surfaces you sit on, how your gait is. So this was an exercise in balancing left and right side of your psoas. So I want you to think about, while we're lying here for a moment, your diaphragm up underneath your rib cage that helps with your breathing. It moves up and down. I want you to imagine it like a parachute. So when it is pushing the air out, it is domed up into your rib cage. And then on either side of your side body, there are these two, almost like, imagine a paratrooper cords. These two cords come down and they attach to your psoas muscles on either side. So just pay attention to your breath. And do you feel any movement deep down in your psoas when you force your breath in, big breath, and then you force your breath out, releasing all the air? You kind of feel an engagement down in your pelvic floor area when you push all of the air out. So you can feel an engagement down there. When you inhale, let that parachute push down into your belly. And when you exhale, push all of the air out, all of it, all of it, all of it. You feel that engagement in your pelvic floor. It's because your psoas are attached to your diaphragm. Psoas are very much tight muscles in most people. So I want you to open your knees up and flop them over to the left side. Engage the right glute, press your hip forward, and feel that stretch, stretching the psoas out more. Flex your right foot. Draw your belly into your spine. Get a little bit more stretch. Relax your belly, relax your foot, relax your glute. Draw your abs in to lift your legs and take them immediately over to the right. Engage the left glute, press it forward. Flex the left foot, toes lift up. Pressing the left hip forward, engage the belly and draw it in. Stretch a little bit more. Shallower breath. Relax the belly, relax the glute, relax the foot. Start to draw the knees up and just flop them side to side and release any tension. Play with your flopping. One leg at a time, both legs move together. Whatever feels good. There's your savasana. Get any last minute movements out you feel like you need to do. Find your savasana position. Ideally, you lay on your back. Speaking to those that have never taken the class that may watch this video later, lay on your back with your legs out, feet open, arms to the outside, palms up. If that's uncomfortable on your back, you can bend your knees and draw them together like we just did. Or you can put your lower legs up on a chair, up on a stool, up on a couch, taking your bottom right up against whatever that object is and letting your lower legs, as if my hands with the lower legs, relax up top to give some relief into your back. Arms can be out at your side, palms up, or you can bend your elbows and put your hands on your belly or your hips. Put them in your pocket if you have to wear a jacket. You can cover up with a blanket. You can put a pillow under your head if you want to, or a block. Roll up a little towel under the back of your neck. Draw your chin slightly down so it opens the back of your neck. You're not tucking in tight. It's just a little draw in and opening of the neck. Hips and shoulders are lined up. And just come into your breath. Not trying to control your breath, just observe it flow in and out of your body. Observe the flow of sensation in your breath. Observe the sensation in your nostrils, in your throat. Observe the expanding of the walls of the chest. Observe the movement of the diaphragm through the organs. Observe the temperature of the breath. Does it feel moist or dry? And then just take a little bit of control of your breath and try and even out the length of the inhale and the exhale. Feel your shoulders and hips kind of root into the floor. The back of your head. Feel yourself come to stillness. Feel the top of half of your body melt into the back half. Taking your awareness right into your belly button. Imagining a ball of swirling light and energy right above your belly button. And I want you to imagine this little orb, the color yellow. And it's just rotating, swirling around. Imagine that this little orb of light gives off a little bit of heat. You could just feel a little bit of heat at your belly button where that orb is floating right above. Imagine that little orb of energy and light floats from your belly button right up underneath your rib cage, right at your bottom of your breastbone, and your solar plexus. providing a little heat to right there in that center of your core. Imagine that little ball of energy and light moves up your breastbone, right over your heart. As your chest rises and falls, the orb rises and falls with it. Just floating right above your chest. Allow that little ball of energy and light to float right up over your throat. Right over your voice box. Feeling the neck relax with the warmth that the energy ball emits. And imagine that little ball floats right up between your eyebrows, softening your face. Bathing you with warmth. Giving you that point of focus. Feeling the light behind your eyelids. Feeling the presence of that swirling energy and light. And now imagine that ball lifts higher away from your body and starts to grow in size. Swirling gases, energy, the color yellow. Feels warm like the sun as it grows just as big as you are, floating over you, bathing your body in light and in warmth. The purpose of this practice is to just have a point of focus. To take your mind off of your body and let your body be for a moment. Conjuring up an image in your mind to focus on. Allowing your breath to be, allowing your body to be. And allowing your monkey mind to focus. Imagine that this ball of swirling energy and light transforms itself to a giant bubble. You know, the big soap bubbles that Karen was making at the Christmas parade. You weren't there. A giant soap bubble. It's like when you're a little kid, but this is a giant bubble. And you can see the light shine off the prisms of the soap, creating little rainbows. And it kind of is like a circly, globy orb thing. It kind of moves in shape. Bubbles don't always remain perfectly round. They respond to the air, respond to the movement of current, respond to your breath. Take a nice deep breath, filling up your lungs all the way. And as you exhale, blow out that bubble and let it pop. Let it release. Feeling your body beneath it. Feeling your body on the mat. Feeling your breath in your lungs. Feeling your hips and shoulders, your knees and your ankles. Just feel them for a moment. Feel them in space. Bring your awareness to any pain you might have. Or take a few breaths and breathe into the pain. Be aware of it. Sit with it. Feel it. And release it. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists and ankles, bending your elbows and knees, shrugging your shoulders, squeezing, releasing your hips, arching and contracting your back, turning your head side to side, getting a little bit of motion in every single joint. Gently draw one knee at a time into your chest. Roll a little bit, or just sit still if you prefer. And then roll over onto your side, whichever side is most comfortable for you. Stacking your shoulders, hips, and knees. Take a breath or two. Feel the movement of gravity from the back body to the side body. And gently begin to peel yourself off of the mat. Head is the last thing that rolls up. Find a seated position. Find the shoulders over the hips. Find length in the spine. Drop your head forward, opening up the back of your neck. And then just start making little tiny rolls side to side. And then slowly start to make your rolls bigger and bigger. And then as they get big enough to have your ear over the side of your shoulder, pause and breathe. And then go to the other side and pause and breathe. And then go back to rolling side to side. Lift your head up. Take your shoulders forward, rounding your upper back, pulling your belly in. Then roll the shoulders up to your ears and sit up tall. Roll the shoulders around to the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, draw the belly in so you don't arc the back too much. Then roll the shoulders down and lift through the crown. And then we're going to go to the other direction. Take them to the back first. Up high, rounding forward. Shoulders back down and relax and sit up tall. Using your arms, take a deep breath. Gather the air. Exhale, arms go down. One last breath. Breathe up. Hands come together overhead. Exhale, bring them down to your chest. Fluttering your eyes open briefly. And namaste.